I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hello everybody, Dave here for the next episode of Dave Gets Shaftheadgrip, where we've already done the grip and now onto the head before we get shafted. Okay, so we're on to the 3 iron, the last of the clubs to sort out. And as we mentioned at the end of the last video, this club has got a lot of damage on it. So I have a feeling we're going to be attacking this one with a power sander for quite some time. I tried showing it before, all the damage on the back, the damage on the face, on the top, it's just absolutely everywhere. Now I also have been doing a little bit of research about how to deal with the shafts, but I'm still unsure which way to go with that yet. But also I've done a bit of research on how to freshen these up. The only thing is the videos that I've sort of looked at, people have used acetone, so that they'll sand this down a bit and then use acetone so I just realised I'm scratching my ear with dirty gloves. See, dirty mark. Yeah, so sand these down and then rub it with acetone and it makes it look like new. I don't have any acetone and I don't know if rubbing alcohol would do it, but I'll be able to test on one of my scrap clubs if they actually have that bit on. I think they do, I can't remember. Anyway, we're going to crack on with this, going to try and get this done, and then hopefully we're on to the next stage. So let's see how we get on with this, shall we, because it's the last of them to try and make look shiny. Alright, let's fast forward. time for an update. I look like shit. We're done. At least I've done this bit. Okay, given the amount of damage that was on this club, I am amazed at how it's looking. Okay, just like all the other clubs, still got some paint in there, so that's a bit messy, but bear in mind the amount of damage on this. There was loads of damage on the face, there was loads of damage on the top, there was loads of damage on the neck and the back and the ridge. If you take a look at the back now, no damage. There's one little mark there I've just seen. I'm not too bothered about that at the moment. It might just be a dirty mark. Yeah, it is, it's gone. So no damage on there. We've managed to get rid of all of that, and from the ridge and the neck, most of it, although I am making it dirty now because I'm touching the tape and then touching the metal. I should have kept gloves on, but to be fair, they'd split. So the back looking good, the face looking good, me not looking so good. And would you believe, while I was doing that, cleaning it up, I was working with the power sander with a 120 grit, so that was quite rough. Sandpaper at 150. I'd normally use some sandpaper at 240 as well, but I ran out, or at least I thought I had. For some reason, I sat here thinking, I've got no 240 sandpaper, so I got one from the triangle sander and cut it up. Yeah, I ran out of 240 grit sandpaper, I ain't got none. Fucking idiot. So working with the 240, the sanding pads, which I'm pretty sure they're 220 and 320, or 240 and 320, but they're very handy because of the being able to manipulate them. And then also 400 grit and 1000 grit, and then doing the brushing at the end. So yeah, it took a lot of sanding, but I'm glad that we got all the damage off it because it looks so much better. I need a poo. Trying to get this bloody tape off as well. So now, well not now, but next, I need to work out if I'm going to do the shafts or the paint. I really should leave the paint till last. Now what I might end up doing is, I don't know if I'll do it on video or not. I'm going to start again. I'm going to do some tests on one of the scrap clubs of what I want to do on the shafts of these, work out which would be best. And that's what I might not record, just to save myself some time and some video editing. So when it comes to dealing with the shafts, we're going to need to take these stickers off, which, well, let's see, will it peel off? It should, but it will leave a residue. Okay, so it doesn't come off particularly cleanly. It also makes a weird noise when it comes off. Yeah, so we're probably going to need to use, I haven't got a heat gun, but I've got a blowtorch. Probably need to use a torch on that, just to heat it up so that it comes off easier. But doing that, I'd have to be very, very careful about overheating the shaft, and also that's not something I could do on a graphite shaft because it would just melt it, as far as I'm aware. I mean, the other thing I could try and do is just use rubbing alcohol, but that would, well, theoretically that would take a lot longer. So we're going to need to take the stickers off, and the reason we're taking those off is they don't look good on a couple of clubs, so we might as well get rid of them from all of the clubs, and then we can clean up the shafts. We'll also try and clean these up. She'll be able to make those look fairly new. And then when it comes to the next stage, which is the painting, we will carefully apply the paint stripper, because we do not want to apply it to the back or get any of it on the back. So we've got the lettering, the number, there's some small lettering and number there, and some small numbering and a letter there. And with that, I'm going to want to try and strip quite a few at the same time if I can, just to save me time. If I did each one individually using the rack, using the vise, then I'd be applying a little bit on there and then basically waiting until it's done. Whereas I'm thinking, if I actually put a towel down on the table or a cloth down on the table, then I can lie the clubs flat and at least apply the solution in there, and hopefully with it being laid down it might help it just sort of fall out. And we should be okay doing that, because it should mean as well that the solution will be running away from the back. That's my thought process anyway. Although when it comes to doing the faces, I'm thinking might have to do them on an angle like that, because again, if I do it flat, the solution could wrap around. So yeah. Now I think I've got a hair looping up to my nose. Yeah, that's what was itching, bugging me. I could put masking tape over that, but the paint strip will just ruin it and go through it, so it won't make a difference. So yeah, so still plenty to do, but plenty done. It's taken a long time to get to this stage, and obviously I've learnt a lot from doing the first club, going from the first club to this one. So what I might actually do is go and get the first club that we did, which I think was the sand wedge. We'll go and get that, because I'm pretty sure I didn't take all of the damage off that club, and seeing as I now feel capable of taking the damage off, there is potentially a bit of touch-up work I'm going to need to do on that. So let me go and grab that club. A few moments later. Okay, well I can see, and yeah, we're going to need to do some extra work on here. Okay. Yeah. Now, admittedly, when I did this club, I only did it by hand, and I think I only used about 240 grit sandpaper, so I'm not surprised it looks how it does. Now, admittedly, it don't look too bad at first look. First wobbly look, that's the wall. But if we have a bit of a closer look, you can see the damage. Maybe. Try and have it away from the light a bit. Okay, yeah, so we can see the damage on there, and there's damage on the back and on the ridge. Okay, and the face could do with a bit more of a clean up, but I was expecting this, to be fair, because I know I took it very easy to begin with. So I know that one of the things I'm going to end up having to do is to go back and go for getting rid of all the damage, because I don't know if you remember, if you didn't see, when I did this sandwich, I mean, to be fair, I probably need to do the grooves again, because I learnt more about the grooves as well. Yeah, when I first did this, I was concerned about going too hard on it, but also I wasn't too bothered about showing the damage. But the problem is, I like how it looks without the damage on it. I mean, without the damage on, they're practically brand new, and I found it quite fascinating to be able to get rid of that. So I know at some point I am going to need to go back and do this one, and a couple of the others, but I'm okay with that. Part of the learning process. Now, something else actually is, I did mention on one of my previous videos that I had allowed these clubs to be hit, to be used, which is why the club looks a bit dirty. But something that was fascinating, is you can't really see it much on this one, but down here you can actually see the dimples of the ball, which was just a bit of dirt really, but with it being sort of practically brand new in that kind of situation, that kind of state, it was very easy to be able to see where the ball had been hit, which as a golfer I'm sure is very useful. So anyway, right, I'm buggered, my back is killing me, I've not been able to crack my back properly for a couple of days, and so I've got a little crack and then a medium crack. At least it's not my crack. He's from Formula 1, by the way. A little crack. Okay, so I'm going to take a break there, stop there. And you know, I'm now wondering whether before I do the shafts, whether I sort of do a quick video, making sure all of the clubs are up to like the stage that this 3-iron is. I might have to have a think about that. I'll have to go and look and see exactly how many clubs I've got that need that little bit more work on them. So yeah, I can have a think about that while I'm trying to get my back in order. Right, thanks for watching, have a good one everybody, and take it easy, and we'll see you on the next episode of Dave Gets Shaftheadgrip. See you later.